Hey guys, this is Travis. I was in one of Flair's videos, actually a couple, but one a few months ago about some giant freshwater prawn. Season's kind of coming to an end, so I just want to give a few of you reached out an update about these in my property. So we had a lot of big rains. I need to redo our beach area. Unfortunately, the rock washed out, but I'm gonna wait till the chance of heavy thunderstorms is gone before I fix it for the winter. But not a lot's changed. Bass are still growing. I actually caught my biggest bass out of this pond a few weeks ago. Got one, we call him Nemo because he's got a little fin, and he weighed almost 3 pounds. He was like 17.5 inches, so I was super pumped about that. Fish feeder broke. I'm gonna try to rebuild it. If not, order a new one for next spring. But yeah, pond's looking great. We had some good rains, which was awesome. The prawns are still growing. I actually pulled out about a dozen prawns and bought a 55-gallon aquarium, cheap one at a big box store, and we're just gonna keep an eye on them all winter, just see how they grow. They might die, they might not, but 99% of them are actually gonna be released probably next week. I got a smart app that's got a thermometer, so the average temperature on that's about 74, 75 degrees right now, but it's, as the days get shorter, it just gets cooler, and there's really nothing I can do to stop that. So we did catch a break. You guys probably saw in Flair's video, but we had like 140-mile-an-hour winds, and I had a lot of trees fall. So as soon as we get our first freeze, I have plenty to do this winter. I'm like deathly allergic to poison ivy, so I'm not going in there until at least we've had a little bit of snow or first freeze to kill off most of this. Because yeah, I don't really feel like going to the hospital to get a shot. But yeah, everything's going great. Pond's doing good. I have too many bass that I would right now. I've been culling a few, just part of the game if you want big bass. But yeah, I think we had a couple mayfly blooms. I don't know if anybody knows what those are, but because we have aeration going all the time, we have really high oxygen concentrate in our water. So what that causes is these mayflies to live all year round. And then when it comes time for them to hatch, they come up to the water and hatch. I saw a little bass blow up there. And I think that made it so we had a really large population of these, would have been second generation bass to survive. So if I come down here at night, I might shoot a video sometime, and I get a spotlight, I can come right here on the banks, more around the rocks there, and there's a really big crops of bass about this big. I remember last year when we had our first spawn, we had a few, but not anything like this year. I know our first generation bass are bigger, so expect them to spawn more. Also expect them to get eaten more, but I think that mayfly bloom just kept the population larger than I really wanted. So next year will be the first year I really ramp up. Maybe have some fish fries, culling a few. Because our goal here is not to have a bass every cast. Our goal here is to get, 5, 7, 8, 9, maybe a 10-pounder someday. So that's what we are shooting for. Not a lot of bass. We want a good healthy population of bass and bluegill, but not, like a bass every time you throw out your pole. I do have 50 pounds of shiners coming next month, or this month, I guess. Sorry, it's September 7th. It's a Sunday night. So that should help. Hoping it helps the bass right before winter get stocked up and full bellies before it freezes over. I hope it helps them get a jump start next spring too. I'm hoping some of those shiners can survive and maybe spawn next spring. We'll see. If you go back and look at my older videos, our pond, we literally had it so you could almost, not really, but walk on. Literally millions of minnows. And then 2 years ago on July 7th, we've stocked our first bass, and now we have like no minnows. I haven't seen a minnow in over a year, so it don't take long for those to be completely gone. Those bass are ferocious. So yeah, tank's still going. I think overall it's a success. I got some bigger plans for next year. I'm always experimenting with stuff. I like the prawn so far. I'm probably gonna do that again, but there's other options out there too, like golden shiner fry, and I never did have somebody get back to me on how to get tilapia up here unless I order them from like lakeland tilapia. I just don't want to spend that much money on something I know that's going to die. We did have a little bit of an algae problem this year. I keep my pond dyed really blue to keep it down. I hate algae. So but yeah, both aerators are going still. Yeah, pond's looking good as it can for this time of year. I need to do some landscaping. I like to keep the grass a little bit longer along the edges. Reason being is you get so many grasshoppers and so much vegetation that just, you know, fall in or hop in. And that's just another way the bass and bluegill can eat. So I'm gonna pause this real quick. I'm gonna actually go up to the house. I'm gonna show you guys that 55-gallon aquarium and show you the prawn. A lot of different sizes. You can tell right away which ones are males and which ones are females. But yeah, they're pretty neat. I just like learning about these things. I like watching these things. So yeah, if you have any questions, then let me know, but I'm gonna run up to the house right now. All right guys, so I'm back up here. These are the ones that we caught. They're kind of all different sizes. You can see there's definitely some bigger ones, you know, like that. It's probably about as long as my finger. It's tough to tell with how far back they are, but they're a little closer. They're good size. And then I have some little ones too. So the reason I did this, I'm not trying to breed them. I'm not trying to raise a million of them. I just felt like they're gonna die anyways or get eaten by the bass. So if I could take a handful and build some substrate, and I could probably learn about them quicker. Just see how much they eat, see what they eat, see what they don't like, see what they like. I got a thermometer, I can control the temperature in here a little bit better. See how fast they grow. So yeah, they're cool to watch, they're fun to watch. And they're not right now because I'm standing right here, but if I go sit on the couch and turn on a football game, they get super aggressive and super mean. Especially after one molts, they will come attack it and try to eat it. But yeah, there's kind of a fun little creature. Some of them are getting bluer, some of them are holding on to the red still. So I know some of you reached out after that and were interested in these. I don't know a ton about them. I'm still learning. I feel like I learn something new every day about them. Next year I got some bigger plans. We'll see if those come into effect. I hope they do, but all this takes money. I'm not looking to become anything on YouTube. I'm just doing this because some of you asked, and I had a lot of family members that watched that didn't know I was into any of this, so they like to watch it too. So yeah, if you have any questions, reach out. Yeah, but once again, yeah, just cool little things to raise. Ain't gonna hurt anything, besides maybe my wallet a little bit. And hopefully I can get good enough where I can help make my bass population a little healthier and bigger. Thanks for watching.